July Talk won a Juno for Alternative Album of the Year. It's incredible. You were talking about how these are albums by people who you really listened to this year. Dilly Dally, Soar, Weave's album. Can you talk a little bit about like being in that category with these other amazing artists?
Absolutely. I think Weave's self-titled was probably my favorite record that year. I think, I don't know, it's just so inspiring to be in a category that you really, really enjoy. A lot of times as a band, you know, you play festivals, you do all these things with bands that you respect. You know, they're at the top of their game and they're absolutely killing it. But the music doesn't inspire you and to be able to be mentioned in a list of bands that genuinely, when you listen to their music, it makes you think and it makes you want to write more and it makes you want to create. Is such an honor.
It's funny, you know, your first album was just so successful. And, you know, then you have the second album and, you know, how's it going to be received? What's going to happen? Where's it going to go? And it won a Juno. That's got to be a great feeling to know that it's consistent and it keeps going.
You know, it is. I'd be interested to hear what everybody else has to say about this, but I will say that I don't think I acknowledged or was able to acknowledge the amount of pressure that we were putting on ourselves on the second record until we started touring it and that kind of got it out there. And I feel so happy with it in hindsight, but you don't realize what you're kind of putting on your own shoulders.
Right.
You don't realize how I don't know how difficult it can be when you set the bar really high and you don't really know how to reach that bar. Creativity doesn't work that way. You don't just climb some ladder. You have to do it on your own terms in your own way, and it's really difficult to put pressure on yourself in such a concrete way over such an abstract thing.
Right.
And so I think that was a difficult thing when making a second record. I'm so glad we never have to make a second record again.
In terms of writing for this album, were there changes? Was the writing any different than the writing was for the first album? Can you talk to that?
Yeah, absolutely. On the first album, the process was pretty intuitive and I don't know how many days was it recorded in? Like a matter of
16 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
totally. So you have 2 weeks to make an album, and we'd been playing together for probably about a year. But there really didn't need to be that much effort or thought into what the playlist was and you know what was first and what was second and what would be the single. It was just kind of like, right, we're a band and here's our music and we need an album so that we can tour, and playing live together is our favorite thing to do, so let's just get it out there.
Yeah.
And obviously I think we didn't realize how much that album would go on to define us and have people, you know, trying to define us and stuff like that. And so there was more of a kind of like communal, personal responsibility with the second album to try and make sure that what we were putting out there was really representative of all 5 of our voices, and it kind of led to a far more collaborative writing process. Took a lot more time, had a lot more chunks of time writing sessions, you know, demoing in Toronto, starting to get together and write and demo in a cabin in Burnstown, Ontario, and kind of just, yeah, you know, we went to Jukasa to record bed tracks and stuff like that, and it was just a much more involved process.